Cheat Code Spanish.
Here at Cheat Code Spanish, we like to take advantage of something called language transfer. That's because Spanish and English have about 3,000 words in common. This is because Spanish is mostly Latin-based, and English is a little bit over 50% Latin. The key to having the correct pronunciation comes down to the vowel sounds, which Spanish speakers say los vocales. A, E, O, U. A, E, O, U. The A sound is in plenty of Spanish words such as to open, abrir, or apply, aplicar. The Spanish A, or the A, requires you to open your mouth a little bit. Correct pronunciation of the A sound will make all the difference in being understood by Spanish speakers or them kind of squinting at you with their nose like this because they don't understand what you just said. So a common mistake is when we have a word that is similar between English and Spanish is to pronounce it like the English form, but with the Spanish spelling. For example, the word favorite. A lot of English speakers like to say favorito, but that's not correct. It's actually favorito, mi favorito. Well, there's two things. You say favorito instead of favorito, and also in Spanish, they don't use the hard V sound that we have in English. It's actually pronounced more like the B sound, like B and boy, favorito. Moving on to the Spanish E, or mejor dicho, el E. Words like explain, explicar, or excellent, excelente. They both have that E sound. Like the Spanish word for to read is spelled L-E-E-R, or L-E-E-R, and it should be pronounced leer, leer. Now, when you look at it, you might think it says leer, but again, it starts with le, er. Maybe the most confusing of the Spanish vowels has to be the letter I, because it's actually pronounced like an E sound, like from the word see, E, and that's the Spanish I. Now, a word that you'll see very often is a very important word, and it's the word important, importante. You just add the E at the end, and that's a convertible word. Now, you notice the other two vowel sounds that you just learned, importante. Make sure when you speak in Spanish, slow down to speak fast. Slow down to speak fast. Importante. Landing on each syllable correctly is going to be very important to be understood in the beginning, and you will develop speed as time passes. I would argue that the Spanish O is the easiest to remember because it's very similar to the O that we have in English. However, there are English words that have the letter O in the beginning, but they make an A sound, like opportunity. Now in Spanish, the word oportunidad, you have to pronounce it with an O. If you say oportunidad, that word doesn't exist. Oportunidad. Last but definitely not least, the Spanish U, or the U sound. Now, I hear this one being butchered all the time by English speakers. And yes, you guessed it, the word university. A lot of English speakers like to say universidad, but it's actually universidad. Universidad. Now, I understand the tendency to use it as we do in English, but that one, again, it's not a U sound, it's the U sound. Now that you have the vowel sounds down, I will place a couple words on the screen, and I want you to sound them out as you see them, and then I'll pronounce them correctly afterwards. Afecto. Afecto. Ganar. Ganar. Evitar. Evitar. Leche. Leche. Información. Información. Ideal. Ideal. Opuesto. Opuesto. unidad, unidad. Lunes, lunes. Now, I hope you got those words correct. Keep practicing and remember the vowel sounds. A, E, I, O, U.
Cheat code Spanish.